Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are heading for the ranches on a nice breezy vacation today. No terror, no goblins, no evil, just slimes. So Slime Rancher is not necessarily farming, but if you play farming type games, you'll be very familiar with the kind of activities you will be doing. You basically a pure livestock game, really. But Slime Rancher deals with raising slimes, or more like profiting off of them. So your task in the game is simply to get slimes, breed slime mixes, and get their shiny little plots. It's like slimy poo that they get from eating food, as apparently there is a very large market for those in this universe. And there are many slimes. While you start off very simple with regular pink simple slimes, you'll find some that are more violent, more hungry, and you may also run into a more common strive that when mixing too many types of slimes together equals deadly horrible monsters that want to eat everything, including all the slimes and chickens. Slimes and chickens. There are many types, and they have their values of their, let's just say, their waste. And they all eat differently too. Veggies, meat, and their fruits. You'll have to learn how to take care of them and how to captivate them. As well, you can get said waste from them in the wild. Obviously, bringing them to your ranch that you have, you can easily service them much easier, so you may profit off them quicker. That's where you have to deposit it to get your money. And with your money comes the tools of the trade and more land. Getting upgrades like jetpacks, more running, stamina, vitality, an ability to push things away. You can also, on top, expand your ranch, getting more different environments to make areas for the slimes. You can also plant any vegetables and fruit you have to make them grow in your property to make it quicker to feed your hungry little slimes. On top of that, you can also learn science, madness, and with science comes even more new things, as you can now, using plots and things that you can also discover through science, can start creating machinery that can either get more resources for you to create more maddening science, or things to help with the slimes, as teleporting gates, ways of defending your base in case you screw up. And believe me, the slime apocalypse is very easy to create, so it's very important to make sure your slimes don't create it, because, well, creating it will usually destroy your farm. Unless you have these handy-dandy new hydro torrents. Only $5 million. Thank you. Bye now. But yes, different slimes will become bigger problems, as more valuable slimes bring more chances of chaos and ways of getting out. Such as, for example, the crystal slimes. Now, when slimes get hungry, if you don't keep them fed to a certain extent, the more there are, the more likely they will escape, as they will try to escape their pens if you don't feed them well. And say, like the spike ones, if they can reach a ceiling, they will gladly pierce through it and escape from their captivity, which could be deadly, as they may interact with another slime and thus create an apocalypse situation of destroying your farm. So you gotta be careful of that. But, like many farm games, it's just a simple task of gathering resources, moving about, getting the profit, and going on your business. You can also raise chickens on top of fruits and veggies that you would feed to the slimes. As mentioned, some of them eat meat, so chickens are also required. The game visually on PS4, which is what you'll be seeing, it does have some stuttering moments and frame drop moments, but overall it runs capable, as in functionality. I haven't had freeze or anything bizarre like that, but you will see some stuttering moving around from portions of the island you're on. And a very sizable island it is. There is a very decent portion of the island that only gets expanded on upon more, as you can take requests, and upon doing some of the requests, you will get teleporters to go to said requestees' areas of the planet to do more requests, which could lead to new slime types, or just new ways to get more money. Money, 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 as you'll want to upgrade stuff, and definitely get more land. More land, very good. Very good. Sadly, I never got the teleporters, but you can get several teleporters if you can find all the resources to make them. Eventually, through your exploring of the island, feeding gigantic versions of the slimes, trying to find keys to get through the island, or cheating with the jetpack. Yeah, for some reason, there's a lot of places. I feel like there ain't a lot of secrets in the game when there could actually have been. But you can actually bypass several doors just by jetpacking over them, oddly enough. But either way, as you explore the island, you'll find more and more areas, more and more slimes, and you'll eventually find a strange ruins that will lead you to another area, supposedly on the planet, not really known, only to find more secrets. The game doesn't really have much of an ending. It has a very short credit sequence with a okay song playing in it, but it doesn't really, you know, like many of these type of games, farm simulator type games, like Harvest Moon and such, there usually isn't any grand conclusion. It either just offers you a mode to continue doing stuff or just ends. And Slime Rancher, like many of these type games, it goes along the path of just continuing. So you may continue to grow and learn more things that you may have not discovered upon discovering all the areas. So you can always keep growing in that. Now, both the Steam and PS4 version have their achievement trophy system. There are more achievements than trophies, so there is an in-game achievement system, so basically they chose achievements to attach trophies to for the PS4 side of things. So if you care about in-game type of versions, that you got extra to-do list. If not, you just have your trophies, platinum. If you're interested in a physical version of this, it's only physically on the PS4 as of now. I believe it is on, I think it's on Xbox, if I remember correctly. But if you want to get this lovely, lovely little game, you were looking at it digitally at $19.99. Actually, I take that back. It is available physically on Xbox One also. So I take that back. So it is available on PS4 and Xbox physically. But you are looking at $19.99 digitally and $29.99 physically. And I believe you can get DRM free on Humble Bundle, if that is your thing. Humble. We'll take a quick check on that. Yep, is DRM free on Humble Bundle, so you also have that option if you happen to be like that, like me, when it comes to PC games. It is a delightful game. I would imagine, obviously, it probably runs better, more smoother on PC, more likely. But considering some of the slight flaws in that, it's okay. It works, it functions. It just sometimes when moving through areas with a lot of stuff or going to a different area, there may be a bit stuttering of the frames. Graphically, it's, I don't know, I guess you could say it took a high ejection of chibi cuteness Japanese right into the face, as many of the slimes are adorable and cute, and very few of them want to eat your face, but there are several that will. But besides the slimes, most of the environment is just a very simple cel-shaded type look to it. You don't ever really get to see any characters in person at all. When you take requests, you get to see a 2D art picture, and you do get mail from several characters, but there is very little interaction with characters outside of that. So it's you, slimes, and a lot of text walls if you want to read any of the mail. By the way, you do need to read your mail to get the actual credit sequence. Just a hint. Overall, though, while simplistic, I wouldn't say it's as complicated as like Stardew Valley or a lot of Harvest Moon type games. But it is a very nice and relaxing game. There ain't usually too much chaos in the game. You'd have to more likely really create it yourself. But in the end, I enjoyed playing with it. Probably my biggest criticism for the game, though, was you only get 4 slots in your gun that you use to carry slimes and materials around. And while later in the game it's not as terribly annoying, as you can expand how many of an individual type you can carry in you, but sometimes in certain scenarios it can still be annoying only being able to carry 4 different things with you at one time. If you can get the gates powered up, which I did not have luck doing that, you can also create shortcuts back to your base, making that also less of a problem. But in the only game, that can be very annoying when you're trying to get food from other places. But once you get a lot more land in your farm area, you'll be able to pretty much process all the food items you'll need in your farm area itself, which really makes it a lot easier to not have to get so many different things outside your farm's area. It just becomes a little less annoying in that regard. But overall, Slime Rancher is a very enjoying and relaxing game. If you like farm simulator type games, I can highly recommend it. But if you're not into that, you need some violence. This is definitely not going to be your game, because there is just none in here. Probably the most violent thing you could do in the game is take a poor innocent slime and or chicken, suck it in your gun, and aim it to the quickest way into the drink. Yoink. But besides that, it's a lovely little game. It has a full trophy list if that's your type of thing. A few of them are interesting to go after, but nothing too crazy. And there's a lot of decorative things, little ornaments you can find in that. So it's a pretty nice little game. But overall, I would say I would probably not really go back to replay it, honestly. It doesn't really have much replay value to me personally, but I do know a lot of people who play a lot of farm simulator type games do like restarting the farms. You do get multiple slots, so if that's also your kind of thing, you get to do that. There are secrets to find. I was kind of disappointed there weren't too many well hidden ones, but you can find a few chests hidden about that you later can get access to opening up, and they unlock a few decorative things you can make at the laboratory along with gadgets. But yep, I enjoyed the game. Would I call it the most amazing thing ever? No, but considering it doesn't focus on making a profit off crops, but making a profit off livestock, which I don't really know of any farm games that completely devote to living livestock. Like, you know, Harvest Moon games, you can take care of chickens and cows and that, but, you know, the main focus is crops. Same thing with Stardew Valley. Though, to be fair, pigs are very profitable in Stardew Valley. to be fair, though, you do need a lot of money to get that off the floor, too. But still, there's a very strong focus on crops, especially you're not going to start off with pigs in Stardew Valley. But I do recommend the game. I do recommend if you're into that kind of thing. Even if you plan on just playing it through at once, I'm sure you will likely to enjoy many of the similar tasks of gathering, feeding, and being of profit. But that is my thoughts on Slime Rancher. If you want slightly my thoughts on the spoiler bits of the game, which aren't really that huge, but, you know, just for those who want to keep the quote-unquote ending a secret, this is where I think we should part ways, and if you want to see my thoughts on it, feel free to keep listening. So, the ending. So, as you explore the island, you find these ruins. You have to solve a bit of a little puzzle to open it up. You'll go in, and you'll find a teleport that takes you to a whole nother area. In this area, you find notes from the guy you bought your farm from. And with that, you learn that he found this place, and he starts thinking like there's time travel, dimensional travel, and shit here. And he explores it, and he finds this really awesome area, and thinks it's gonna like take him away on a gigantic journey. And then you read the note after it, and it basically is like, but nothing happened, and he goes and gets married and that. So like not a, you know, like big, shocking, amazing ending of any kind. To trigger the credits, which is something I actually was slightly confused about, you have to read all your mail from a specific character, and you'll get a credits the credits scene, which reveals something about the relationship. I didn't really get into it myself because, like I said, you don't really have character interactions, so I don't know, it didn't really catch my interest. But there is a story with a few characters through the mail, but it's just basically revealing a relationship of that. But then you'll get the credits theme, which actually was a very nice song with very nice artwork to it, and then you can go back to doing more slime ranching, get more money, and unlock everything if that is what you desire. But outside of that, there's not really much else to do. Just finish up your farm or start a new farm, but no ultimate gigantic secrets or anything. I would be interested in seeing maybe a sequel touching on some more ideas and such, and for more human interaction too. Imagine if they actually went a route to actually incorporate more like like a relationship system, like a lot of the Harvest Moon games. I feel like there's a lot of lost potential there. Maybe one day they could look into the concept maybe, but those are my thoughts. If you feel like you've learned absolutely nothing about the game, feel free to leave a dislike guilt-free. And if you feel like you learned something, feel free to leave a like. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get with you. Until then, be safe out there in the proving grounds, and until next time.
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。感想だよ。感想。そうか、そうか。